Our low budget mage deck only costs 1520 Arcane Dust to make. That does not include the common cards, and it's a perfect deck for getting you through to at least rank 10. Look, this deck is extremely aggressive and you should have no problem putting any opponent under immense pressure in the early to mid game, while powerful finishes will help you win games even if the board gets out of control later on. Your starting hand will define your early game, and you should always attempt to mulligan away any mid to late game cards. The early game is extremely important when playing an aggressive mage, and your choices during this stage of the match will have a major impact on your late game. Your minions should put as much pressure on your opponent as possible, and you should engage in minion trading only if you are given the opportunity to create card advantage. You should not attempt to save your spells for later stages of the match, but rather use them as minion removal to clear the path for your minions. Once you pass the early to mid game, you should consider saving your damage spells so you can use them to finish your opponent off. Beautiful starting hand. We've got something we can do on every turn. 1, 2, 3 and 4 drop. Always like starting with a mana worm. The loot hoarder is brilliant. I always love drawing cards. And we get the bonus of the coin. It's a great starting hand.
Hello. One shot, one kill.
Okay, that's a bit unusual. Normally we hold Elven Archers in hand to do damage to creatures. I'm not sure what his strategy is here. Okay, I would have expected him to attack me. So if he threw it into the mana worm, I can only guess that he's got the removal in hand. But if he has the removal in hand, why did he throw the Elven Archer at the mana worm? Yes, there was no need for him to run the Elven Archer into the mana worm. Make everything a bit cheaper, see how we get on. It's pretty strong.
Put this apple on your head.
Job's done.
So we'll see how he reacts to that. Again, I always like to force my opponent to deal with my side of the board, so they're playing like I want them to play. Having said that, I would expect him to kill the Knife Juggler. That would be a solid play.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
I hope you like my invention.
That's pretty strong. Okay, I've got to admit, I don't know why he didn't kill the Knife Juggler. Now the reason I didn't kill his creature there is because I fully expect a multi-shot here. It's just too tempting a target for him not to cast multi-shot. And so I'd rather get the 6 damage in while I can. So I need to swing it back now so that I have control of the board again. To do that I'm going to drop a few creatures. And that should force him to focus on those rather than me. Quite happy for my loot hoarder to die. Oh, there we go. I spoke too soon. Alright, so he had to use 2 resources to get rid of my water elemental. So I'm going to play, obviously, the mana worm, but I'm going to follow up with another water elemental. Rather than load up the spells on the mana worm, he's shown me that he doesn't like water elementals and that he's prepared to sacrifice 2 resources.
Job's done.
So if I put another one out there, it's not only disheartening for him, I know that he's going to focus on it. Besides, I don't expect that mana worm to last long.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
And again, 2 resources from water elemental. So let's draw some cards. It's all looking good. We'll put out a few creatures. So I've got 2 creatures on board and 2 cards in hand, so that's a total of 4 resources, as opposed to my opponent only has 2 cards in hand, so he only has 2 resources. So I'm not worried too much about losing a creature here and there, if it means I control the board at the end of it.
I let the dogs out.
It's a fairly strong play from the hunter, but I'm pretty sure I can get around it. Let's draw a card to see.
I hope you like my invention.
Yeah, we can buff the leper gnome, taking out his taunt creature.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Remember, he's got no cards in hand.
Mind if I roll need?
So the end result is that we still control the board, we've got more resources, and we got rid of 2 fairly significant threats.
Oh, if you're sure. Hey, give me that.
Now I did that way because I want to do more damage to his face. Happy to lose a 1/1 creature if it means I can do an extra 3 damage, or an extra 2 damage in real terms.
I let the dogs out.
So yeah, why not Flame Strike? I mean, got nothing to lose, he's got no cards in hand.
Hey, give me that!
Okay, always happy to draw a card. Ooh, 3 damage, that's game. Look at that. That's why I love card draw when playing a mage. He's drawing just so much gas. And there's even more. And that's how we beat the hunter in ranked.